I'm Luna Fial, and despite my amazing skills in Bed Wars,
Oh my god, it's already broken, idiot!
it's been a long time since I've played survival Minecraft, but with the 1.20 update adding cherry blossom biomes, amongst other things, I knew that it was time to jump back in and make the cutest survival world ever. But you know, pink. So I did what any normal person would do. Started up Minecraft, put on some chill Animal Crossing music, named my world Pink in all caps, sat confused in the options menu for a while, and then jumped into the world with a simple quest: find a cherry blossom biome. Now, because I like to give myself a little head start, I turned on the setting for a starter chest, which gave me a few tools, some wood, and most importantly, 4 torches. After landing some sick crits on the cows, it was time to leave the spawn and begin my journey for Pink. Well, I didn't leave quite yet. I spotted a little cave that had some well-needed stone in it, so I turned the jungle planks that I got from the chest into a crafting table. After, some struggle. There we go. There it is. I collected the stone and then decided to continue on my way. The next thing I spotted were some sheep, which I desperately needed for a bed, which I don't know if you can notice, but my PvP or PvE skills in this game leave a lot to be desired. I wanted to leave some of the sheep left, but they kept only giving me 1 wool, and I felt bad leaving this gray one by itself, so I killed it too. I figured that the best way to travel and look for a cherry blossom biome would be via boat. So after spotting a fairly large water mouth, I made a little boat and decided to jump on in to spot a cherry blossom biome. At this point, I was feeling hopeful that I'd find a biome fairly quickly. As I continued along this ocean, I quickly got distracted by spotting some flowers out of the corner of my eye. This is a pretty common theme throughout this little adventure. After getting my fill of pretty flowers, I quickly hopped back into my boat to try to stay focused on what the main point of the objective was. Along the way, I thought I spotted some ocean ruins, but as I quickly got closer, I realized that it was an ocean temple. As soon as I was able to spot these silly little looking dumpling guys, I don't really know what they are, guardians? I think that's what they're called, but yeah, I noped out of there real quick. I did make sure to mark the coordinates in case I ever felt brave enough to come back and try to fight the silly little sea dumplings. Next up in the Luna Gets Distracted Chronicles, I spotted this cute little island that had a bunch of different trees on it. So obviously I had to get closer so I could collect all of the wares that the island had to offer. When I got there, I noticed that there was some mossy cobblestone, which I was really excited to collect, and even better, I noticed this azalea tree, which, if I remembered correctly, meant that there was a lush cave underneath. I decided that while this wasn't my main objective, it was good to set up a temporary camp here so that I could try to find the lush cave, because the little flower decorations that they had there and axolotls were simply too good to pass up. I made my first bed and of course utilized some of the pretty flowers that I picked up to make a magenta bed, because we can't just sleep on a white bed here. And after that, I took my first little snooze in the Minecraft world. Waking up the next morning, I continued on my path of collecting everything cute that this little island had to offer. I decided to set up a chest as well so that way I could organize what I had collected and maybe start to tackle the potential lush cave. Before starting my cave adventure though, I wanted to make myself a little bit of armor with the leather that I had collected, and again, using the little bit of magenta dye I had left to make it a magenta cap. I was high up in the air collecting some wood when I noticed that there was a little fire going on this island. I thought that it would be fine and that the fire wouldn't spread too bad, but then I remembered trees. Trees catch fire very easily, and I scurried back down the tree in this cute little spiral staircase that I made so that I could get all the wood without leaving a bunch of leaves or little branches behind. When I got there, I noticed there was this lava pit that was spreading to the nearby trees. Smokey the bear would be proud of the work that I did here. I decided it was time to tackle the main reason I stopped here, the potential lush cave. I had never actually found a lush cave on my own. I had just remembered that they were probably below this tree. So after digging down for a really long time and getting distracted by the various things that lay underground, such as coal and iron, Also, this really large pocket of clay, which I got excited about because flower pots. I decided to do a quick Google search and saw that they were often in these types of biomes, so the dark wood biomes, and probably around Y-56, so I had a long way down to go. Finally, though, I stumbled upon some moss, and that gave me hope that I was heading in the right place. After realizing that I had definitely broken into a lush cave, a new problem presented itself, which was how to get to the bottom in a way that would let me get out in case there were any dangers that were lurking around the cave. After making my way to the bottom, I was quickly greeted with multiple mobs. I thought it was just this one zombie, but I quickly realized that the creepers had definitely found the cave before I did, and knowing that there might be some little axolotls swimming around made it turn into a rescue mission. After swiftly dispatching all the mobs, it was time to start catching some little axolotls. I'd crafted 2 buckets ahead of time so that way if I spotted any swimming friends that I would be able to catch them, but I quickly realized that I had run out of buckets a lot faster than I had anticipated, as there was more than 2 little predators swimming around in the water. While I was waiting for my iron to smelt so that I could catch more axolotls, I stumbled into my very first diamond. There was only one, but one is better than nothing. I then grabbed some of my iron and decided to make some shears so that I could grab some of the spore blossoms and other vegetation that were growing in the area. This task was honestly a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. It was kind of like getting glowstone from the nether if it was, up really high. And yeah, then I had a spore blossom. On my way down though, these creepers decided that I had taken too much of their pretty flowers. This was the closest that I had gotten to death so far, so I decided that it would definitely be smart of me to light up more of this area so that creepers and other mobs wouldn't be able to spawn and get the jump on me. After that terrifying experience, my iron was finally done smelting so that I could make 2 more buckets so I could catch the few remaining little friends that were swimming around in the ponds. I knew that I had wanted to get a couple axolotls to hopefully make a little axolotl sanctuary, and it was just kind of having one in a bunch of different colors. You can see that this little adult one was easy to catch, but I struggled with this little baby. Yeah, a lot. After catching the fastest axolotl I've ever seen, I collected a few more goodies that were around the area before deciding to call it quits before my desire to have all the cute vegetation led to my ultimate demise. When I finally got out of the cave, it was time for another nap. When the sun rose the next morning, I made the smart decision to mark down the coordinates for the Lush Cave entrance, collect all the goodies that I had gotten along the way, and set sail to try to find the cherry blossom biome, which again was the main point of this whole journey. My journey on the ocean wasn't going well, so I decided to take a little pit stop onto the land, where I spotted this village and thought that I would at the very least check it out to see if there was anything good. My inventory at this point was very full, so I definitely couldn't have collected as much as I would have liked, but it's still good to know that it's there. My adventure at this point wasn't going well, as in I had hoped to find a cherry blossom biome on my own at this point. As it was starting to get dark again, I made a little very temporary little base for the night, and thought of a way that I might be able to locate a cherry blossom biome a little bit faster. I copied the seed of the current world that I was in, and copied it to a creative world so that I could locate a cherry blossom biome. Finally doing that presented me with the coordinates of the beloved cherry blossom biome. It turned out to be 2,000 blocks away from my current location. So yeah, I had a long journey ahead of me. Most of which I'm gonna cut out for you because it was just a lot of swimming in boats, a lot of running on land, until finally I had gotten closer and closer. The only thing that seemed to be in my way was this giant gap, which I thought of just going down and then back up, But instead, I was like, I'll just bridge across, which went surprisingly well. And finally, I was on my way to the biome. After so much running, I spotted the pretty pink leaves in the distance, and I almost fell in a hole, but we don't need to talk about that. Finally discovering the biome that I had ran so far and gone on such a long adventure to find was very exciting for me. When I got there, however, I noticed that the biome was small. It was rather small. I'd seen some pretty big biomes on the internet, so I guess I just assumed that they would take up a lot of space. So I quickly came up with an idea to relocate this cute little biome over to the village that I could see just across the way. So that turned into my next plan for next episode. I made my final temporary little base, as I'm hoping that soon we'll have at least a little starter house that we can decorate and call our own. If you enjoyed watching, please consider liking and subscribing. Next episode, we're going to make a little starter house, head over to the village and check it out, and hopefully get started on taking down the cherry blossom biome to make an even bigger one. Have a great day!